in this incredible maritime city that has this long history of environmental, economic, and historical engagement with the ocean and with the harbor and with our coast. And yet you can live in this city now and never even feel like the ocean's there, the river's there, the port is there. And so we have a chance to sort of reawaken your grounding in this place that you live, which is really fantastic. And that there's very few places in the world you can go and watch a shark coming by at eye level, giving you that look as it slowly moves by.
Little factoid about sharks. I think one of the myths that circulates about sharks is that they're continually hungry. Much like a lot of large, what they call cold-blooded animals, meaning animals that can't regulate their own body temperature, like for instance crocodiles, large snakes. A lot of those animals don't eat every day. They may eat once a week or a couple of times a month. And the large sharks in this exhibit, especially the sand tigers, also fit that mechanism. They only eat maybe significant amounts, maybe once a week. But we give them the opportunity to eat every day. And it also gives our visitors the opportunity to come watch the sharks eat. You can have a lot of large sharks in the tank living together. One thing you have to do is you have to make sure you don't put too many small sharks in with large sharks, because large sharks will eat small sharks. There are some species of sharks which will eat sea turtles. They don't live in this tank. The sharks that live in this tank don't recognize sea turtles as food. They recognize things about that big as food. So the sea turtles are just sort of something else living in the tank. The permit swimming behind me occasionally become food. They are commonly found in areas where you find large sharks. They do really well in this tank. They live decent long lives, but occasionally the sharks exercise their hunting skills. The reason that these sharks are here and the reason that we're here are to dispel the myths and all the hyperbole created by certain programs and channels and things like that. We'd like to set the story straight on sharks, the real deal. They're exciting on their own with all the scary stuff, that may or may not be true. They're big, highly adapted predators that have colonized every ocean environment on Earth. And there are so many little nuances to that. And then by the same token, they're very fragile, because shark populations worldwide are basically, a lot of them are in trouble due to our activities. And I don't mean me at the aquarium, but I mean humanity in general. We're overfishing them. We're causing negative effects on the environment. And so I hope a lot of that, I hope folks that come here to the aquarium will learn a little bit about that too, and the need to sort of protect sharks worldwide.
I think the most important thing you're going to want to see is you're going to want to see the jellyfish and alien stingers, because they're just so cool. It's like artwork in a way, floating by you in this magnificent slow fashion, and they're so otherworldly. They're so far from what we are, and yet you realize they're animals, you realize there is a connection. That to experience that, I think, is this moment of like really sort of wow, how wild life can be, and it's really amazing. And then, especially if you're a kid, you'll love Explore the Shore, because it's a lot of small tanks, it's a lot of interesting things, there's a lot of little interactives for kids to get involved in, and it's a place where you can bounce from exhibit to exhibit to exhibit to exhibit and just have fun as a kid. And then lastly, of course, you're going to want to do what everybody wants to do, because it's the funnest thing in all of New York City, bar none, I guarantee it, the Aqua Theater Sea Lion Show, where you can see these magnificent animals doing behaviors that are rooted in their natural behaviors. They're actually demonstrating what makes sea lions so incredible and so unique, and yet they're doing it in this entertaining form. They're doing it with their trainers. You see the bond between the humans and the animals, and if you really like that, then you can stick around for what we call the Sea Lion Encounter, where you actually get to go in a smaller group, go up and actually meet one of our stars and learn a little bit about what makes these animals so fantastic, see some of those interactions really up close, and if you're lucky, maybe get a kiss.
We are so excited about our Encounter program. It's a new idea. We just started it last summer. We thought long and hard about whether or not we wanted to do it, and we decided it was a great conservation tool and really fulfilled our mission. So what we do is we take a group of people, we tell them a lot about the animals, even more than what you can get during the show, a lot of the details, And then we bring them closer to the animals. They stand right here in the Aqua Theater in the front row, and one of our very favorite animals comes out, Osborne, who, by the way, is the star of our shows. Gorgeous animal. And he comes out, and they get to see up close just how huge he is, how powerful, some of the details about their anatomy. Watch the trainer's eye contact with the animal, and vice versa. The animal is paying full attention to the trainer. So the animal is in a very controlled situation. Also, you have a trainer here with you. What we do sometimes is we say, you're not comfortable with this? Don't reach out, don't let him kiss you then. Just stand near him and experience him. Sea lions are wild animals. They're big, powerful wild animals. And although Osborne was born in an aquarium and we've worked with him every day of his life, he's still wild. And that's one of the most important things we want people to see. They get up close, they get to see him do something very controlled, like give them a kiss, but at the same time, they get to see just how wild he is. I think you don't realize it till you look in their eyes and you see this is not a plush toy. This is a big, powerful animal. But then I think there's a later realization where they walk away and you're not quite so overwhelmed, but you get to think back on it and think, wow, there's a lot to this animal. And suddenly it seems a little different, you know, in terms of how you care about the environment. You start to realize, just like he was looking at you and you were looking at him, you're both part of the environment. You're both part of the ecosystem. And everything you do affects him. And that starts to mean more.
We have in design right now a fantastic new shark exhibit that's called Ocean Wonders. And this exhibit is going to go from the end of our Sea Cliffs exhibit all the way to our Seaside Cafe. So if you look at that, that's about a third, maybe more than a third of our perimeter. Now is the time to utterly transform this place. So we're going to be doing a lot of great things here. I feel like we're really out to save the world. And a huge part of that is reaching out to kids, getting them engaged in something that's harder and harder in the modern world, which is that sort of natural moment, that sort of unmediated moment of like, this is the wild, this is the world around me, nature. And we can do that, and it's funny. I mean, yeah, things are in tanks, but there's also a lot of times here where you can actually touch, you can feel, you can connect to nature. And that is so important in an urban environment. It's so important to reach the young kids. And then they come back, they can get involved in school programs, they can become teen interns here. They can do all of that stuff and gradually step up and step up. And what we're really doing is creating the next generation of conservation stewards, which is just an amazing thing that we can accomplish, particularly here in New York City.